also assume gigantic S forms. They are so cruel that even if any human being comes there, they will eat them alive. Therefore, all these fruits are falling to the ground and nobody can touch them. But we're very enthusiastic to eat them. So Krishna Balaram, please, liberate us from our hunger and take us to the forest of Talavan. And actually the cowherd boys did not want the fruits for themselves. They wanted to give pleasure to Krishna. Because they knew Krishna Balaram, every day they would like to kill different demons and liberate them. So for Krishna Balaram's pleasure, they were inviting them. But if they said, Krishna Balaram, we know that you like to kill demons, so go, Krishna and Balaram wouldn't find so much pleasure doing. But they're saying, we are very hungry, we want to eat those fruits so bad. They knew that then Krishna and Balaram would be very excited to do this. So they entered the Talavan forest. And Sri Balaramji, he came to a tree and shook it. Tal fruits tumbled down to the ground, making a loud noise. Dhenukasura had such a consciousness that this forest belongs to me, and these fruits are for me to enjoy. How dare anyone intrude on my property? Furious, he came charging toward Balaram. And Balaram is standing there just shaking trees, all the fruits. You know, if he did it in secret, it wouldn't be such an insult. But doing it publicly and making so much noise, Dhenukasura was so angry. His ego was on fire. How dare you come right out in the open in my forest and do like this? Dhenuka was like a mountain in size. He turned his rear side to Balaram and with all of his strength kicked Balaram in the chest with his hind legs again and again and again. Balaram just stood there. Dhenuka was so angry. After kicking him, he was roaring this horrible sound. It was terrifying. Roaring again and again and again. But it was like thunder. Anger ran in circle after circle after circle, then returned to Balaram, faced his rear end at him, and pounded his legs on Balaram's chest. Balaram stood there patiently. Then with one hand he grabbed the hind legs of Dhenukasura, lifted him over his head, whirled him in circles until Dhenukasura was so dizzy that he died. Then Balaram located the tallest of all the tal trees in Talavan. This is the way he honored Dhenukasura. He threw his dead corpse on the top of the highest of all the trees. And the tree started rocking back and forth, and the fruits were falling down, and then the tree hit another tree, and then trees started moving back and forth, and all the trees, and they started breaking. And the friends of Dhenukasura were so upset. They couldn't tolerate. They just killed our leader. All of them charged at Krishna and Balaram. And Krishna, with one hand, one after another, were whirling them around, and right next to him was Balaram doing the same thing. And all the trees were covered with these gigantic forms of dead asses. They were all liberated. Looked like a beautiful scene, Sukadev Goswami said. It was like big dark clouds. And because there was so much blood, some of them looked like red clouds at the time of the sunset. And the Brijabasis came to eat the fruits. But the cowherd boys didn't eat them because of all the blood and everything around. And this Dhenukasura consciousness, this mentality of I and mine, by the grace of Balaram, through the instructions and the mercy of the spiritual master, can liberate us from that. And just after Dhenukasura, they all came back to Vrindavan, and Krishna was playing his flute, and Balaram was playing his flute, and all the gopas were chanting the glories of Krishna killing, and Krishna and Balaram killing Dhenukasura and his friends, and they were singing beautiful songs and praise. And all the Brijbasis they welcomed Krishna Balaram back to their home, to Nanda's home. The gopis gazed at Krishna with eyes like bumblebees toward the nectar of Krishna. After a long day of separation. And just after they came back home, the next story told in Srimad Bhagavatam is when Balaram did not go out to be with Krishna and the cowherd boys. And that was the day that they all drank water from this little lake and died. And then Krishna glanced at them and brought them back to life. Krishna climbed up on a kadamba tree and jumped into the water of this lake near the Yamuna. Kali emerged with his many heads and wrapped up Krishna in coils. And so many inauspicious things were happening all around that Nanda and Yashoda and Balaram and everybody came running to the lake of the Yamuna, where they saw Krishna in Kaliya's grips. And Nanda and Yashoda and all the gopas and gopis, they were besides themselves with grief. They tried to enter into the waters of the Yamuna, which was then the Yamuna lake, which was highly poisoned. But Balaram stopped them. Some he stopped with his words, others he stopped by holding them back. This massive, enormous serpent wrapped around little Krishna's body. Balaram was thinking, in my form of Ananta Shesha, Krishna never plays with me like this. Why is Krishna playing with this insignificant little water snake named Kaliya? My brother has nothing, he is in no danger. And he was smiling and happy, Balaram, while all the other Brijabasis were on the verge of death, seeing Krishna in that state. Then Krishna danced on the hoods of Kaliya. And through the prayers of Kaliya's wives, the Nagapatnis, ultimately he surrendered to Krishna. Just after this pastime, Krishna and Balaram go to the forest with their friends to herd the cows, playing so many wonderful games together. And one particular cowherd boy stayed back at his parents' house that day. And the demon Pralamba, he understood and took the exact form of that cowherd boy with the intention to kill Krishna Balaram. So Krishna immediately recognized that this cowherd boy is a demon. How cruel to take the form of Krishna's intimate, loving friend to exploit him. So Krishna understood, and he told the Gopas that let us divide into two parties, and we'll play, and the loser of the game will have to carry the winner of the game on their shoulders. So they played. Krishna was the leader of one side and Balaram the other. Balaram's side won. So Krishna carried Sridhama on his shoulders. Bhadrasena carried Brishab. Pralamba was on Krishna's side, because he was thinking, let me kill Balaram first, because Krishna's very strong. So a little cowherd boy on Krishna's side said, Balaram, please ride on my shoulders. You defeated me. They were playing this game at the Bandiraka, this massive banyan tree in the forests of Bandiravan. And there, the little cowherd boy started running with Balaram deeper and deeper into the forest to bring him to a secluded place to kill him. Meanwhile, Balaram is thinking, he should have put me back. He should have put me down long ago. Where is this boy taking me? And Balaram understood. Same little size, he increased his weight until suddenly little Baladev became the weight of a full mountain. And Pralamba was having really a hard time carrying him. He was struggling so much he could no longer contain the disguise, and manifested his true form, the size of a mountain. Terrible, terrible demon. And Balaram, he looked like the moon on top of a huge cloud. And he was thinking, my friend has changed in every way. Then with his little fist, Balaram struck him on the head. His head cracked. Little fist of Balaram he was angry with this little friend. Balaram was angry because this friend was taking him away from all the other friends. That's one of the reasons he was so angry. This demon is trying to take me away from all my friends. He couldn't tolerate it. So with one strike of his fist, Pralamba's head cracked open, started bleeding, and he fell to the ground shook the earth like an earthquake. The demigods showered flowers, Balaram ran back to his friends, and they were all jumping and cheering and welcoming Balaram back. Sometimes anarthas. Pralamba represents egoism, lust. Sometimes our anarthas, like enemies, they disguise themselves as our best friends, promising, be with me and you'll be happy. Try to get our trust. Only by the mercy of Balaram, who comes through the instructions and the grace of our spiritual masters, that we can overcome these demonic tendencies. In this way, Krishna Balaram revealed to the world the most intimate, loving pastimes of Vrindavan. And one day Akrura came, Krishna and Balaram's uncle, and brought him to Mathura. There in Mathura, Krishna and Balaram in their wrestling arena, they wrestled Chanura and Mustika, defeated them, liberated Kamsa, and were once again reunited with Vasudeva and Devaki. They went to Ujjain to live with their guru, Sandipani Muni, where they served their teacher and his wife just like students, offering so many menial services and so eager to learn all different subjects. When they offered dakshina, some gift to their guru, Sandipani Muni and his wife, they asked for their son, who had died some time before. And Krishna Balaram brought the son of their guru back to life and reunited them with his parents. In Dwarka, Shukadev Goswami tells the story. Balaram decided to visit Vrindavan after so many years in separation. When Balaram, I have to end here. But when Balaram came to Vrindavan, he was greeted by Nanda and Yashoda. Rohini was living in Dwarka with him. They were all asking, how is Krishna? He met with his Gopa friends, and he met with the gopis. Balaram, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he bowed down to his superiors, his elders. He embraced his friends. He accepted the obeisances of his juniors. Everything with perfect etiquette. He exchanged love. Nanda and Yashoda were asking, how is Krishna's health? Every question was about Krishna and all of Krishna's devotees in Dwarka. And when Balaram met the gopis, Krishna's gopis, they were crying, does Krishna ever remember us? He called us, we left our homes, we left our families, we left everything for him. And then he left us. He's forgotten us, but we cannot forget him. Even we